Okay, hello everyone. Um, my name is Johnny. We're going to talk about math, and we're going to talk about math contents. So the first thing I want to talk about is why is math important? Okay, a lot of people know that math is important, but they don't really know why is it important. So the first thing I put is stimulate thinking and applying of knowledge. And as you know that there are two general way of learning for nowadays. The first way is learning depending on memorization, and the second way is learning depending on understanding. And to be successful in academic, you need both learning technique. Okay, there are some subjects require more in learning in understanding, and more subject. There are other subjects that require more in memorization. And a lot of student nowadays is really lacking in the learning depending on understanding part, and math is the fundamental that can help student develop this area of learning skills. So that's why math is very important. Okay, now math is also a fundamental tool for many subjects. Okay, so for example, computer program computer programming is heavily depending on math. Physics also very heavily depending on math. Chemistry, data analysis, accounting, business, and so on. In everyday life, we use math. Okay, so math is related in these subjects, and they're the tool. So basically, when you become go into the professional field, you use math like a tool. It's not a real subject anymore. It's like a tool. Now, in terms of university application, it is definitely important. And for subject like engineering, math and science, business, accounting, all these subjects require math to apply. Some require two math program in grade 12. Some require one math program, one math credit in grade 12. But that's not the end of the math for high school student, because these program is that if they require math to enter, they definitely require student to study one more year or even two more year of math in university. So uh, being good in math, not only in high school, in university, will definitely go a long way for the to be successful in the program. Okay, now let's move on to talk about some of the current problem we have with a math student. These are just some of my thoughts after teaching many years in high school and helping so many students, that generally a lot of students nowadays do a lot of practices. They do homework, they do a lot of questions. But the problem for that is these questions all repetitional work. They're all the same, just change numbers. And students are doing it like a like a computer, like a machine. They follow step one, step two, step three, step one, step two, step three, and it just repetition of work. And it is good to for memorization part of learning, okay, but it's definitely not helping with the understanding part of the learning skill. And so that's why a lot of students now struggle with application part of the question and thinking part of the question. And application thinking is a great component in Ontario curriculum, and they worth, I would say, somewhere around 40% to 30%, sometimes 25% of the entire course. So to really earn these marks, you have to focus on understanding part. Lack of proper step of work, that's very common for a lot of students. They like to jump steps, they like to miss steps because their thought process is not complete and they're not proper. Lack of confidence in problem solving. Now, I think a lot of people are not looking at confidence that as important as I am. I think it's important to be confident when when you do math, whether you do it correctly or you do it incorrectly. You have to be confident with what you're doing, because you will always doubt yourself. Is my answer correct? and that's going to affect the mood when you are doing a test, doing a quiz, and especially on a contest. It's going to affect you the entire contest if you don't have the confidence. And also single approach instead of different approaches. So because of the time limited at school, a lot of teachers only teach single approach for mathematical questions, which is sufficient to solve the question. But in a contest base, we do need to discover different kind of approaches, because that can stimulate students and how they think a question. There are always more than one way to solve a question. And is it going to be faster? Is it going to be slower? Okay, maybe this question can be solved in a grade 9 knowledge, can be solved in a grade 11 knowledge. But if you're only in grade 9, you have only one single approach. But if you're in grade 11, you have multiple approaches can solve a question. And also, student now give up very easily, I find, because that kind of connect with student has no confidence. They look at the question and question they have never seen before. Okay, so they ask the teacher, hey teacher, I've never seen this question before, I don't know how to do it. So they leave the question blank. There's nothing written on the paper. And I don't think that's a very that's not acceptable, because at least you have to try, right? Students need to try the question, and even though they have not seen the question before, but if it's given out on a test, it should be, you should use the knowledge you learn and apply and try to solve the question. Even though you don't get it right, there's still, you need to show step of work that how you think, how you will approach a question. And that part is missing for a lot of students. They just give up too easily. And part of that because students don't have the right confidence when doing problem solving.